I met my wife in 1988. It was a blind date, and she lived in Boston. And we got to talking, and I found out that she grew up on Nantucket, and I happened to know somebody from Nantucket. So, I said, "Do you know Rachel Sillin?" And she said, "Oh, Rachel's my best friend. We went to high school together." So it turns out that we had friends in common. When we got married, then we had kids in 1995. We had my daughter. Or 1994, we had my daughter. And we lived in a high-rise in Boston. And about 2 weeks after my daughter was born, they found a body in a dumpster behind our building. And we're thinking, how are we going to live here and raise a child? And we're trying to figure out which suburb to move to. And it just seemed like the wrong thing to do, to move to the suburbs. So then my wife Barry, who is a Fee, she's a member of the Fee family, the Sandwich Mafia. She said, "Well, what about Nantucket? I grew up on Nantucket. It's a great place to raise kids." And I went to my clients and I said, if I moved to Nantucket, would I be able to still make a living? And they all said, "Yeah, sure, as long as you show up for meetings." And so I've been, flying.
Has it been easy?
Well, it's gotten easier.
Yeah, has it?
Yeah, I used to have to fly on those little Cessna 402s. Hey, there's the chief.
Here he is.
I used to have to fly on those Cessnas twice a week. And now it's more like twice a month, so it's gotten a lot easier.
Right.
My clients are used to me emailing in a lot of stuff. And, there's, for example, my friend in LA who gives me a lot of good radio projects like this Coors thing we're doing.
Right.
He and I communicate on instant messaging. I'll sit there, like in town meeting last night, the last night of town meeting.
Amazing?
I was writing radio spots with him online while we were listening to Sarah Alger take motions to move the question. It was probably the most lucrative town meeting I've ever been to.
Well, I mean, the technology's amazing.
Yep.
The fact that this sleepy little island is so wired now is amazing too, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, HD. Now it's going to be totally like one of the first towns to be completely wireless soon.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to stick it out then. I mean, you love it here.
Oh, here? Yeah. Well, we're lucky. We found a house.
Yeah.
And it was Mark Arnold's house. He was the former moderator of the town.
I remember Mark, yeah.
And Mark was an amazing guy, a really wonderful guy. He wanted to sell his house to a Nantucket family. He wanted one family to be able to live here. So he sold it for what at the time was, for us, a huge amount of money, but it was below market rates.
Yep.
I don't think we'd have been able to stay if we hadn't found our house. And it's made everything possible for us. And I hope that as a town we can work on ways to make that dream come true for a lot of people like us who are just having kids now and want to stay.
And that's probably why you were probably in favor of the second dwelling amendment.
Right. Well, it did make possible a lot more affordable housing, as did this article that Richard Lofton put forth at the town meeting. I thought that was great. It's a great alternative of 40Bs.
Tell folks about it a little bit.
I think it was article, I can't remember the name, but it was sponsored by Richard Lofton. It passed a town meeting, and basically what it said was a developer could come in and build a lot of houses, but at the same time subdivide lots that could be affordable lots. And that's the thing that's really killing a lot of people nowadays. There are a number of affordable houses out there, but there aren't any affordable lots. Lots are like $500,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
And who's got the ability to get a $500,000 mortgage nowadays if you're just getting out of college, or if you're working a couple jobs? Who's got the ability to do that? I don't know who. But
I don't want to take that kind of stress on personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I want to take a $500,000.
Oh no, well that's very hard.
But not with no equity anyway.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So now somebody has the ability to build a house on an affordable lot, and it makes that option available for people. And I think it's a great idea. I'm glad it passed. We'll see
So
how it
you're
goes.
you're satisfied with the direction we're going? I mean, what do you think?
Well, we don't have a lot of choice. We have to move forward.
Right.
And I think that the more I'm very optimistic about this new board of selectmen. You know, I think they're a bunch of really good people with their hearts. You know, we passed the chief. I love the chief. They've got good hearts, and they've got their heads on straight, and they're pointed in the right direction. And I think you know, the future looks good as long as we keep lines of communication open. I'm very, very, very optimistic. Ah, here we are back at the old Sanders homestead.
You must love it, man.
There's bikes.
You must come home and go, you know what? Boy, am I glad I got my house when I did.
I come home and I say, boy, there's a lot of yard work to do. And who left the bike lying in the driveway there? And what about that sled? That sled shouldn't be there. That should be in the
That's
basement.
why you hire a landscaper.
Well, yeah.
A handyman.
Well,
You know, as Yak just grows and grows, and you get more sponsors on there.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you could.
can you
work
tell
out-
I'm a computer guy? I don't have any calluses on my hands.
I know.
haven't been out
Work
there.
out a deal with some landscaper. He'll come over. And
Maybe
take care
so.
of it, see?
Yeah. Well, first I got to get a roof on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Well, listen, man. Thanks a lot. Good
Thanks,
to see
Gino.
you again, Grant, and thanks for doing it. I mean, I think it's great that you run Yak.
I'm having fun. That's what counts. I wouldn't do it if it weren't
Gee,
fun.
I'm glad you do it.
Yep. Yes,
Yeah,
you
she's gonna say
sweetheart.
goodbye to you
Oh, yes, you are, lovely girl.
too. Yeah.
All right, Gina.
All right, man.
Thank you very much.
All the best.